We are given that T99 is equals to 9632 on 2.1.1. I mean 2.2.1. Right? And we need to find term 98. We don't know T98. Ne? But we are given this. Ne? We are told that the pattern is quadratic pattern with which the first differences are there. Ne? So I'm going to write the first differences down, which means here we have T1, T2, T3, and so on. And then here we have first differences as given there, right? Which is 1, 3, and 5. And then let's now get the second differences. 3 minus 1 is going to be positive 2. 5 minus 3, which is 2. So the second difference is 2. The first difference is 135. Please note that the first difference is basically linear, because we are always adding a 2 to get the next term. Therefore, we can say the D will be 2 and the A would be 1 for this linear pattern. Now let's find the first difference, right? Nth term, which is going to be A plus D n minus 1. We said it's linear, which is going to be 1 plus 2 n minus 1, which is 1 plus 2n minus 2, which is 2n minus 1, which means the first diff nth term is given by Tn minus 1. Right? So the first diff T98 is going to be 2n, which is 98, so it's 298 minus 1, which is going to give us 195. I always put the end of the term that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for term 98. I'll show you now why. So ladies and gents, we did that because we know that T99 minus T98 will be the first diff 98. Do you get it? Because I want to show you something. Let's say I have A, B, C, D as my pattern. This and that, this is the first term on the linear, is T1, but T1 here on the first difference is basically T2 minus T1 there. Do you see it? So if I'm looking for T98, if I have T98 here, on top there is going to be basically T98 and T99 difference. Do you get it? I'm sure it makes sense why I came about with that expression there. Right. And then now let's go on and substitute. T99, T98 would be basically 9, 6, 3, 2, right? Minus 195. I'm sure you can see what I did here, ladies and gents. I just took this side to minus with T99, and then I took T98 that side, which is there. And therefore, T98 is going to be 9437. All right. Perfect. Now let's go on and answer the next question. The next question, they say, if it is given that the third term of a quadratic pattern is 32, determine the general term, Tn, of this quadratic pattern. Okay, the third term is how much? 32. Okay, so which means so far I have this. I have T1, right? Let's zoom this. I have T1, T2, and then they said the third term is how much again? 32, which is 32. And I know that the difference is here. It's 1, it's 3, it's 5. Right? This is what they told me. Okay? And then what do I need to get now? Let's see, I need to get the Tn formula of this pattern. Right. So let's get the second difference. We know that the second difference is 2, right? We know that 2a, this term here is always 2a, right? And we also know that this term here is 3a plus b, always, ne? And then we know that the first term is a plus b plus c, but we don't have it. But yeah, this is the order that we always use, and we always solve from bottom to up. So I'll start with 2a is equals to 2. You see that a is equals to 1. And then we know that 3a plus b must give us 1. But we know that the value of a is 1, so we substitute it there. Then we get that. And then we can see that b would be 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. Okay? Perfect. And then we are given that T3 is equals to 32. And we know that Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Let's substitute everything that we have. We know that when the n is 3, the value will be 32. So I'll say 32 is equals to a. But we know that a is what? A is 1. So I'm going to say 1 multiplied by 3 squared minus, we know that b is minus 2. We know that the n is 3 plus c. Now let's solve for c. You have 32 equals to 9 minus 6 plus c. You have 32 minus 9 plus 6 equals to c. You have c equals to 29. Therefore, Tn equals to 1n squared minus 2n plus 29. And that is the final answer in this case, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. And boom! That's how you crack your quadratic patterns. Just know your basics. And thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please support the Say Guru Nation by clicking that subscribe button. Share with friends, classmates, your learners, and everything. Thank you very much. Tango.